I'm going to pick up where we left off with Peter King for my first award, and it is the Smell You Later Julio Jones Award. I think he's gone. I think it's done, and it's just a question of when. And how much of the $15.3 million in fully guaranteed money the Falcons are going to have to commit to pay to facilitate a trade, because I think they are ready to move on from Julio Jones. I don't think any of this came out on Monday with multiple reporters all saying the same thing, lighting the fuse on a Julio Jones trade, putting everyone on notice that he's available. It can't happen until June 2nd for salary cap reasons, but I think the Kyle Pitts pick, in my estimation, makes it even more likely that they will move on from Julio Jones. And to get that second-round pick, they may have to pay more of the $15.3 million. The less they pay of the $15.3, the lower that pick is going to be. And they did get a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu not long ago.
Which is crazy.
There's a chance they're not going to get a second-round pick for Julio Jones if they're not paying a significant amount of that $15.3 million.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're going to have to do that if they want to get the value in return as far as picks or assets are concerned. I'm with you all the way, Mike. And this certainly makes them a little bit more expendable. It does. And, again, we discussed Julio Jones during the trade deadline last year. That we thought maybe that could be a guy that they would look to. The year was over. He's getting up there in age. We've talked about how beat up he is and all of that. So, that'll be something to watch for here as we go through OTAs and stuff. All right. Modern Medical Miracle Superlative Award goes to Modern Medical Miracle. Yes. This is something we talked about yesterday. Jalen Phillips and Caleb Farley. Yeah, baby. I love it that they got picked at least in the top 25. To me, it's arguably Jalen Phillips, the best defensive player in the draft. Caleb Farley is second or third, in my money. And I'm just happy for one to see them go. But, first off, let's just hit on Miami. Miami, hey, they're to steal your phrase, Mike, they're a team that's playing chess while a lot of teams are playing checkers. The way they've mastered free agency, the draft, what they did yesterday, Jalen Waddle, I think that's the perfect pick for, a receiver to go along with Devontae Parker and Preston Williams, who are bigger outside type guys. And now you get the best defensive player in the draft, pass rusher coming off the edge, and they got stud galore already on their defensive line and their defense. So they're really building something special. And then the Titans with Caleb Farley, wow. That's Mike Vrabel. We know he wants to play man-to-man, Belichick-style type of defense, and Caleb Farley is hands down the best man-to-man corner in this draft. So that was awesome to see.
And as long as Farley has at least 5 snaps in his NFL career, he will be ahead of what they got out of their first-round pick last year in Tennessee. So
That's right.
I think they'll get more than 4 snaps out of Caleb Farley. The thing about the Dolphins with the Jalen Phillips pick, I think they sprinted to the podium with that one, that he was still there when they used their second pick at 18 and didn't have to trade up to get him. When you consider the other teams out there that could have taken it.
Do you think the Saints were trying to talk about trading up for him? That's you heard all these rumors about the Saints maybe trading up, and they took the pass rusher. Was it him that they had their eye on? That's to me the guy that would make sense, but I'm curious.
Jay Glazer said yesterday when they were trying to get to the top 10, it was for a corner. Now, I don't know if they stopped after the top 10.
Right.
They did end up with a pass rusher that plenty of teams had as a 4th rounder, which is surprising to me, but the Saints clearly
it was an overdraft for sure.
They were kind of in no man's land. They were in a spot where they were stuck, and no opportunity to trade down, no opportunity to trade up. Think about what they gave up to get Marcus Davenport a few years ago. I think that, it's hard to get the right price. You got to get it just right.
Yeah.
And you look at the Bears gave up a first-round pick next year to move from 20 to 11, but the Jets gave up 2 threes and got back a 4 to go from 23 to 14. So you never know what it's going to take to get one of these deals done. The next one for me is the Tom Petty Award, which goes to Mac Jones because he's already been compared to Tom Brady, and also there was some free-falling that happened for Mac Jones last night, and he always wanted to be a Patriot anyway, and he's going to be even more motivated now because he was the last of the 5 quarterbacks taken, so he'll be pissed off about that 21 years from now when he's still playing in the NFL, and he tweets out the day of the draft, "This is the anniversary of the day that I went 15th, and the 4 guys who went in front of me are all out of the league now." So it's all set up perfectly for Mac Jones as he fell from 3 to 15, Chris.
Yeah, it did. It fell perfectly. You're right.
There was some sarcasm in there.
Well, I mean, I know, but like it did fall perfectly for him and I think the Patriots. And you talk about like the fit all together and everything like that. It's who everybody thought this marriage was going to happen from the get-go anyways. And I do believe him in the fact that he probably felt most comfortable with the Patriots and want to be, he came from Nick Saban. The Patriots, it's all the same thing. It's the same attitude. Nick Saban talks like this. Bill Belichick talks like this. They don't change their tone. They do like this. He's going to be coached by the same type of guy. So, I mean, it seemed like a marriage made in heaven that way. So I like it. And, of course, I think he can do dangerous things in that offense.
Patriots also rushed to the podium to get that pick in.
Wait, didn't they really? Didn't you notice that too? Right? Like it was like the quickest pick of the night when they saw him there. But that was Matt Casey, producer here. I think he texted the group text like, did they take 30 seconds to make that pick? So they were obviously excited that he was there.
They will never admit it. They will never admit it. But I think anybody who understands how competitive the sport is and the emotion that goes into it, and the fact that Tom Brady left and won a Super Bowl in his first year out of New England, they are determined to compete with Tom Brady. They are playing Tom Brady this year. They want to be able, when it's all said and done, when Tom Brady's done, they want to catch him. Just like they had been desperate to catch the Steelers with 6 and very much would like to pass them with 7. They're now going to be desperate to catch Tom Brady with 1, and who knows how many more, post-Patriots championships. And Mac Jones gives them the guy that did draw the comparisons to Tom Brady. And he tried to downplay the comparisons before the draft, but then in that same breath said, yeah, I can see why people make comparisons. So, yeah, they're thrilled to get him. And it's just a question of when he supplants Cam Newton as the starter now, whether it's next year, whether it's during this year, whether it's Mac Jones versus Tom Brady or Cam Newton versus Tom Brady. Remember, Patriots fans,
yeah.
Cam Newton all time 2-0 against Tom Brady. So,
yeah.
So don't throw Cam Newton overboard just yet.
Nope, you're right. And I don't think they're scared to play with Cam Newton or any of that. So, bingo. He brought it up.
Haven't heard that one for a while.
Patriots versus Bucks, Brady versus whoever. I mean, what I want to know how I want to even phrase this here. I had a phrase in my mind here where I would just go.
Tread lightly.
I know, yes. The Freak Show Award, okay? The Freak Show Award. That's where I want to go here. And I mean that because I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys, who have become the team that just like, who's the biggest freak available on the board? Who's the biggest, fastest, strongest guy? We'll take him. And I love the Cowboys pick last night at pick number, that was 12, right? Just want to make sure I got that right.
Traded down, got a third-round pick.
Right.
And traded down to 12 with the Eagles.
Yeah, traded with the Eagles. And, Micah Parsons, other than the Caleb Farley and Jalen Phillips that we talk about who had the medical questions, the guy that had no medical questions that was the best defensive player in the draft for me was Micah Parsons. I mean, I don't know. There's just not a lot of guys on the planet Earth that are 6'3", 244 and run 4.4 and can knock your head off and can cover tight ends and running backs and do all of that. I mean, I really feel like the Dallas Cowboys, with Dan Quinn as their new D coordinator, got their Bobby Wagner. That's what they got. I mean, this guy was to me one of the can't-miss prospects of the whole draft. Just put him in the middle of the field, 6 yards off the ball, and he can go be Bobby Wagner, Deion Jones, Miles Jack, Fred Warner, you name it. That's what this guy will do. He is the perfect middle linebacker, and I really like the pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
And the willingness to do the trade with the Eagles and hand them Devontae Smith, knowing that they were going to have to deal with Devontae Smith anyway, because if they didn't let the Eagles get him, the Giants would have gotten him.
Like it, huh?
I would say that the Cowboys would probably prefer that he not be on the Giants, because I think even though the Eagles are a big rival, I think the Cowboys are more concerned about the Giants right now, as they should be. Yeah. And you give Devontae Smith to the Giants with everything else they have. Holy crap. So
holy crap,
Cowboys pick up an extra third-rounder and get the guy they would have taken at 10 anyway. It worked out very well for them.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.